Well, I've mentioned various roles that will be needed to do this project of building a small, sustainable town. And ultimately, that means developing an entire team, a construction team, to build a whole town. And if the thing is successful, that team would then go building town to town, because that construction team is no longer needed once the town is done. And for privacy reasons, I don't want to use a local team to design all parts of the town. They could potentially do parts of it, but I would like to have every part of the team available, and there'd be stages to it. I mean, obviously you have to identify the right land, investigate the social environment around it, and many other issues, whether it's even a smart piece of land to buy. And then send in your first infrastructure builders, so your first people on site. You know, you have tents that come in for housing, and you build your first security structure, secured tools area, although you have people on site the whole time, and you have security on site right away, so that gets figured out. You got internet right away. You're building your composting toilets, which are going to later be integrated into buildings. You have the design of buildings to be built in stages, so that you're serving your construction team first to get them settled, this advanced team, and then you bring in a whole bunch of other people. Now, in there somewhere, there was also bulldozer work, probably. Oh, there's some dog down there. God damn it. And it's really pretty complex because, I mean, we're talking about concrete workers, stone workers, people who are mixing up natural materials for use, people handling local relations to make sure we don't disrupt anything, that we maintain privacy, but that we don't have any bad impact on the communities around us, if there are any. We have people digging and buying materials and having materials stored well, choosing the right time of the year to start building, which I know for this location, but I don't know it for every location. Although I'm imagining building buildings, building towns near here, kind of around here. So I see a series of 10 or 20 different towns all related to each other. It's a little hard to picture how it'll shake out, but I've walked around on the lands around here, and there's lots of good spots where you could put a whole town. So there'll be metal workers, because you're going to need doors and windows and stuff, and everything has to be really secure. You need people to put in an intranet, a network within it. I guess that comes a little later on. And you need people to put in solar power, where you have a microgrid. I like the idea of distributed power, but those distributed power systems can then have what's called diversion load, where any extra electricity being produced can get fed into other systems. And so you might even have you'd have ways to keep everybody topped up with as minimal on their batteries, with as minimal solar panels as possible. So that's going to be a whole skill set there. That's an amazingly difficult thing to think about. I mean, the team would start out really small. In fact, investigating would be the first stage of the land. That'd be just like 2 people, or 1 even. I've already started that in many places. But then checking out the communities better. Somebody might even move into the community. I'm talking about local towns. And kind of scope it out. See what issues they're dealing with, what personalities they're dealing with. Of course, we need to know all laws related to that area, especially ones related to being off-grid and living the way we want to live. We start having people investigate the supply chain right away. So that team starts out small, but ultimately could be, 50 to 100 people, because you want that town to go up really quickly. A half-built town is very inconvenient. And the idea is to go in, be able to build them really quickly, have all your systems in place, have your Gantt charts and your project management software and everything. And somebody's doing the cost accounting and looking for better deals on materials. And slap a town together in a year. I mean, that's a long time, but things take a long time. And sometimes the residents of the town could also be coming in early if they can be part of building it. But ideally, you would build it all, and it would be resident ready. And the residents themselves are organizing themselves, or they already exist as a group. And they come in knowing how to basically then populate the town. And then businesses get set up, and they have a whole bunch of work to do to make it a functioning town. Because the infrastructure of the town, the construction team can take care of that, but then the people have to actually build and populate the town. Now you might say, well, that seems like the wrong way to do it. It seems too ambitious maybe, or stupid. Anything I say, people will say is stupid. It's just how it is. You could say, well, it'd be better just to build a tiny bit of it and then slowly evolve it and grow it. But my concern is that unless you have a design up front that says where everything goes and how it fits together, then you build a fairly haphazard town. You build a town where later on you'll have congestion in spots, you'll have systems that waste energy, you will have built over your best garden spaces, you want to have maximized your view for public use, for group use, it just won't fit together unless there's this massive design. And if you have the design, then get it going. And part of that is to make sure you have teams of people ready to move into that town. That's a monumental task right there. But the construction part, I'm not a construction guy. I've, advised on some construction projects. I've built a few buildings, but I don't know what I'm doing. And I think we can make a template design. God damn it. A template design that, just constant fucking danger. God damn this trail. Alright, be careful. It's either slippery because it's rainy and muddy, or it's slippery because this time of year the leaves fall off the trees, and the leaves become slippery, and there's rocks on this trail. I fell on it, hurt my back a while back, and it's better now. In fact, that's a good thing to notice. I haven't noticed that in months. But it took like 3 months for the pain to go away fully. It wasn't totally debilitating, but that's another reason to build the whole town right away, is because moving regular people into a construction zone sounds pretty dangerous and inconvenient, and it'd be noisy and stuff. So the idea of just being able to plop down a whole town makes a bunch of sense to me. And then that same team takes a break. Maybe they, relax in the finished town briefly, and then they could slowly transfer over to the new site. So you'd always have a project going on approximately an annual schedule. We'll see. It's all beyond me to even think about. But somebody's got to do this shit.